kind of like this.
With big arms.
I kind of like this stronger Natalie Portman look. I mean, look at this picture. She's like a Chad looking there. She kind of looks
She
like
walks around set.
Heck yeah. I like this.
Telling people to move out of the way.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast.
Hi.
We're here again.
I'll keep going through
White
this.
guys in a room doing a podcast.
Is there really no sound in space? Is it because there's no pressure?
Yeah, but there's lasers. Pew pew. If you see like the Death Star explosion, it'd be like. Now there might be a sound if you're on a planet.
Well, I don't even know. Where does the sound waves go?
I've never gotten to top 3.
You gotta start picking better, man.
I pick good. You just don't like them.
You pick
I
two.
pick good. I pick them. I pick good. Look, Daddy.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wing.
That's right, dear.
Dude, I can't take it.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast. All you guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs, we're here again to podcast.
Yes. Episode, I think 266.
Yes.
We're inching our way closer to 300, guys.
266.
So 266.
Oh, can we just skip over like 666 or 666?
No. We're gonna dress up in our greatest devil costume, and we're gonna theorize about the dark side of the
This is 66.
Hollywood. Yeah, that's what we're doing for episode
I don't
666.
want to get
What?
the cold that Tom Cruise is part of.
You don't want to get what?
To Scientology.
We don't want the Scientology.
I took a picture of a Scientology building in L.A.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let me see if I have it.
Well, that, I guess, sort of segues. I was just going to kind of open us up with a little bit of, what's going on? Anything interesting
What's
happen?
going on?
Just Scientology, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know.
I thought we had a fun experience.
Here we go.
This last
Scientology.
weekend. Oh, nice.
It looks. See.
We ran into one of my coworkers again.
Oh, we did.
Wait, in your coworker again? What is this? What is this phenomenon?
We went out to the beach, and then we're like, all right, well, we're close to Harris Teeter, so let's go to Harris Teeter, get the essentials, and then go back home.
No, Wyatt, we're gonna walk down by the beach.
Yeah.
And Wyatt's like, jump in the water. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And he's like, jump in the water. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna jump in the water.
I didn't jump in the water. I went and waded out.
He went in the water,
waist.
comes back, he's all wet. We leave.
I'm gonna be honest.
I want to go to Harris Teeter.
I just had to pee. I really had to pee, and I was like, I'm gonna brave the cold and go out there and pee.
In the Atlantic?
That was when we FaceTimed you.
Yeah, I called on FaceTime, and Joshua holds the phone up. He's like, what? And I'm like, you at the beach? He points the phone out at the water, and Wyatt's like in the battling the waves.
And, oh man, the ocean was beautiful that night.
People were concerned though, walking past.
People were concerned for my health. I was down there like eye level with the ocean. Just it looked gorgeous.
I wish I was there. I would have gotten the waves with you.
So we went to Harris Teeter after that, and
I pull in, and Wyatt's like, "That's Gary's car."
Yeah, and you're like, "Are you
Gary's
sure?"
car.
I'm like, "I know Gary's car."
So you go look for Gary?
We walk in, and I'm like, "Where is he at?" Look for his bald head, and I'm like, "There he is."
So what do you think of Gary after multiple encounters with him?
This is the first time I've actually met him. We just drove past him last time.
Yeah.
That was weird. He just was giggling to himself, and
He was giggling to himself?
He's always giggling.
It doesn't seem like how I picture a Gary. To be honest, I picture Gary as granddad from Boondocks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He is kind of that way. I call him Mr. Rogers sometimes. His last name is Rogers.
Heck yeah.
So I call him Mr. Rogers.
So you just hung out with him for a minute in Harris Teeter?
We said hey.
2 minutes.
We walked over. I said hey. I was
60
like,
seconds.
it's been a minute since I've seen you. And then we just talked for a minute and moved on. Yeah.
I hear that. He lives in the same area as we do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not uncommon to run into this fella.
Yeah.
I want an adventure where I get to see
Where
him
you
as
get, well, you got to come out. You got to come out with us.
Look, when you guys are going on adventures, send me a text.
You're always out of town.
Look, I'm in town. I'm in town.
Yeah.
Send me a text.
You're probably hanging out with your wife.
Maybe not though. You never know. My schedule fluctuates.
I'll text Kenzie first.
No, no. I don't need
Hey,
permission.
Kenzie, can Joe come hang out with us?
I don't need permission.
Oh man. But yeah, that happened.
Los Angeles is not anything special except the hills there are huge. Hills in Los Angeles are like what we call mountains in the mountain area of Virginia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they don't have a lot of trees on them. They're short trees. It's not like forest, but the hills are big. Like you see hills in videos and drone shots of Los Angeles, but those hills are actually humongous.
What was there like a layer of smog hanging over the city?
You know, I didn't get a chance to go downtown. I was in Burbank and I drove through areas of Los Angeles, but I didn't go inner city Los Angeles. Not that I saw, and nor did I. You know what? I was, like I said, I didn't go downtown Los Angeles. Could be completely different, but not as many homeless people that I thought would be out there. There was a handful, but not as many. Like it wasn't terrible. And I was mostly in the Burbank area, which is away from Los Angeles. Like you can see Los Angeles downtown from Burbank, but it's
nice.
You went to go interview somebody.
Yeah, I went to interview the lady who played.
You have her name?
Yeah, Claudia. She played Marty McFly's girlfriend on the first Back to the Future.
Very cool.
So you went to her house.
I went to her house. I went to her shop. And guess what I got a chance to put on? She has a shop for luxury men's clothing.
Ooh.
She gets she doesn't disclose who she gets it from, but she has tons of celebrity connections,
sure.
right? So she gets their lightly used or never used clothes and sells them at her shop for like half off or what like the main sellers. So she put on clothes like she wanted to dress me up for my body type. And she knew exactly what I needed to wear. A little bit of
dad bod and
yeah, no, but she was like, do you wear suits? And I was like, not really.
Yeah,
I don't really like blazers and suits and stuff. And she was like, I think I know what you want. She took me right to like, like my blue coat that I have, that style of stuff.
Okay,
and she even put on me like this. What do you call like reverse leather? I don't know what it's called. It's like leather, but the other side of what a leather thing has.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like reverse leather on the outside and deer fur on the inside.
Oh, very cool.
Deer fur.
Interesting.
Very strange. And so it was like, I think I wore a Gucci coat. I wore a Louis Vuitton coat.
But you don't know who these
I don't know whose
from.
These were.
Okay.
She says she dresses all kinds of celebrities and rock stars because if they know her and they know about her shop, they come to Burbank and buy like $20,000 blazers for like $5,000. You know what I mean?
She dresses everybody up as Marty McFly. Nobody complains.
Nobody complains.
Everybody just walks out kind of looking like Marty McFly.
But she has all kinds of pictures and things that in her shop that if people want her to sign something, she'll
That's
do
very
it.
cool.
She goes to a lot of Comic-Cons and stuff. But and you wouldn't expect
some Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee, no,
Sign Chef Boyardee.
no. But she did have these, like in the newspaper from the movie where it's like Save the Clock Tower or something like that.
Yeah.
She signs those and puts the little phone number on that she put on that was like in the film.
Yeah.
The 555 something.
Yeah.
Right?
That's cool.
So she does a lot of little cool fun things for the movie. And I believe she's actually about to go to Europe, I think maybe France, and record a piece where she's playing like a royalty lady.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad though.
What?
That she's how old now and she's only got that one movie.
Yeah, well, I obviously. Well, she put it out there for what we were recording. She was kind of telling a bit of her life story, and I will say it's not an easy life that she's led, and it was part of that trouble. Although she's made as much of it as humanly possible, and she's extremely hard worker and really nice lady, that has lended itself to a little bit of like her not being in the next movies or, things. I don't want to get into it, too much, but she was a really nice lady and it was fun to meet her and get to know her.
Did you get anything signed?
I did.
Okay.
Now here's the problem. I got something for you guys.
All right.
But
You got us a blazer, a $20,000 blazer?
No.
I'll take that.
It's something signed.
Is it the red jacket?
No.
Aw.
It's nothing this big. It's literally like what I already said.
Yeah, yes.
But I left it in my producer's bag.
No.
So she has to get it to me before I give it to you guys.
Okay.
I was going to give it to you today.
I guess we'll wait.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
you know, is she close by? We can go.
She lives on the other side of Virginia.
On the other
she's
side
gonna
of
have
Virginia?
Yeah. She works remotely for work.
Dang.
Producer, she said she'll hold it on to me because I was busy with something and I forgot to ask her for it. So it's in her bag somewhere, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so at
probably
some
never
point
gonna
we'll
see
get
that
it from
again.
you.
Probably never.
Well,
gonna see
No,
that
it's
again.
signed to you guys. She doesn't want to keep it.
It's signed to us?
Yeah, Wyatt and Josh. She said
Wait,
she
what?
loves you.
Really?
Yeah.
So we got to share it?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's signed to you
That
guys.
just made this way better.
It's a picture of her and Marty and the newspaper I told you where she signed it to you guys.
Oh, wow.
And she said,
We
I
gotta
love
hang
you.
it up in
That's
the
super
studio.
special.
Yeah.
We got to frame it.
We'll do it. I know you guys are much bigger fans of
Back to the
Back
Future.
to the Future than I am.
Did you tell her that? You're like, I don't really
No,
care
I
for
didn't
Back
bring
to
it
the
up. I
Future.
didn't bring it up. Didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
But I saw all kinds of stuff that people's never seen, like as far as photo shoots and things like that from the film that she keeps at her house that people don't see. So that wasn't the whole trip, but that was one of the
That's
biggest.
a fun experience.
Yeah. Very nice lady, Claudia, and she's busy. She stays busy.
She stays busy. What you got to do.
Yeah. So, I'm back home, East Coast forever.
Some would say you're back in time.
Gotta go back.
No, heck no. Look, let's go ahead and do our opener. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. So
Nah, let's not.
let's do it.
Oh.
So we want to talk a little bit about Netflix.
This is what we're talking about?
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about Netflix. Something crazy's happened. So a couple of things. First
That
off,
stupid look off your face.
what?
I already know this is going to be an argument. I predicted this.
You didn't predict this.
You didn't predict this.
I said within a set period of time,
Like 2 years.
Netflix is going to go down, and then it eventually become Blockbuster and no longer exist.
This is not an indication of that. Basically what happens,
We'll
let me give you
see.
guys the facts and
We'll
we'll
see.
talk about it,
Yeah.
okay?
Still got some time.
We do, but let me give the facts. So Netflix has recently released that they have lost 200,000 subscribers out of their 100 plus million subscribers.
Yeah.
So 200,000, it's a blip on the radar from their catalog. It's the first in a decade that in a quarter they have lost subscribers.
Right.
Okay. That's why it's big news. Couple of reasons. And they've also lost 700,000 viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's subscriptions, but viewers because of the Russia stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So they've kind of stopped doing stuff in Russia for the time being, and they've lost a significant viewership from there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the big thing that they believe is the cause for this is because they're cracking down on account sharing,
Yeah.
which I don't want to dox us, but we participate in this activity.
Everybody shares accounts.
Yeah. They literally incentivize
with
it.
everything.
Yeah, so they're saying like if we notice like a shared account between multiple households, they're going to crack down on it. They haven't done that to us, but apparently they're going to crack down. And it's caused some uproar. I think that's caused people to cancel subscriptions. And then there's also word out there a little bit in certain communities about on the streets about it's more the direction of their content that's being a big problem for some people. So
they're also canceling projects.
well, they're canceling it due to the lack of subscribership.
Oh, the subscriber loss.
Yeah, and the anime department is the biggest hitting.
Dude, I saw they're canceling a lot of animation projects, which is a big bummer.
But they did say Arcane's safe, which I know is
that's
good.
Well,
They said
Arcane
is
has
safe.
to be safe.
Yeah, it's a big heavy hitting show.
I mean, it's Game of Thrones level.
Yeah. For
animation.
Yeah.
For what we're talking about, for money spent on animation, Arcane is Game of Thrones level.
Yeah.
They spent tons of money.
I would be willing to bet that more so than the crackdown on the shared accounts, it is content. I kind of agree with this incentive, this idea. What do you guys think? What, as far as theory?
Josh thinks that this is a indication that it's soon to be going
demolished,
going downhill.
I don't think. Well, hold on. Netflix did say that they expected at the end of July to have lost 2 million subscribers.
With a big company like Netflix, we've seen with other big companies, there's always something like this that happens. It's all about how they approach this issue. If they approach it in a bad way, they're going to go bankrupt and they're going to fail. But if they come up with reasonable solutions and tactics to changing and becoming a better company, it'll be fine. But I don't think that it's a huge issue yet. I think this is a little bit of a misnomer right now.
I've never thought that Netflix is going to die. And I don't even necessarily think that Netflix is going to seriously drop and stop growing. I think they're actually going to keep growing. This is just a little dip on their stock, their stock trajectory. However, I have said for years, ever since there was whispers of Disney Plus doing their thing, that it is going to affect streaming services in a major way. And I do have a feeling that all of the streaming services, now we have HBO Max as a major contender with all of their films and shows, and obviously Disney, which has basically the Disney catalog. Well, with those two things, it is a competitive market at this point.
If you think about it, so these companies that have been around for years upon years before Netflix are starting their own streaming services like Paramount, like Disney Plus, like
HBO Max,
HBO. Well, they've had streaming for a while, but yeah. And so this kind of standalone streaming service, there's a lot out there that are their standalone company, but most of them are free with ads and then a little bit
like
upgraded
Peacock
prescription service. Yes.
Subscription.
Netflix is not like that. Maybe if they add ads and make a free option, maybe.
Well, Disney Plus doesn't have a free option, and they in fact actually have. If you want to watch like a new movie on Disney Plus, you have to still pay like $30 inside the app.
Yeah,
that
Disney
you pay
Plus
for.
is doing different stuff.
I do remember.
Netflix.
I
They're
do
not
remember
the same.
predicting that years ago, saying that eventually the streaming services will start releasing new movies directly to the streaming service that you'll have to pay $30 for.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. With the other companies, they have pre-established work as well. Like Disney has how many hundreds of thousands of movies that they've made over the years that they can just put onto the Disney Plus catalog.
It was instantly a mic drop.
Netflix is, they've been big in the game for years, but they're
the first ones doing it.
They've been slowly trying to create a catalog of their own of Netflix shows and movies. And they have some good stuff, but I think they also have a lot of trash stuff.
In a rush that Netflix has been, they have a lot of trash.
They have a lot of trash.
A lot of trash. And I mean, like, nothing in the Netflix film world is a serious contender with anything that's great. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That I feel like I could point one out if I looked.
Maybe they considered like Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. Maybe that was a heavy hitting one.
Was
you got
that
The
an original?
Irishman.
The Irishman, yeah.
The Irishman was big, but like it wasn't across the board loved.
Yeah.
It was just a film that like a cult classic community liked,
Right.
But I wouldn't say the majority of Netflix films are anything that's heavy hitting.
It's all shows.
Shows are the
think
biggest
shows,
thing on
yeah.
Netflix, yeah.
And when they put time and production into their shows, we get really good shows.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that, but we're not getting getting a consistent kind of what we're used to movie from them.
Every weekend, if I'm sitting down to turn something on, probably going to go to HBO Max first.
Right.
Well, it's because you're a movie guy, and movies.
But they're also
There are
new
better.
movies?
There are better movies on HBO Max than there are Netflix.
there's a lot of good movies
There's
on
some
Netflix.
Good
though.
shows on HBO Max too. Maybe not originals. No, they've got some good
Well,
originals.
they have
originals.
loved shows, but the only like original things that they've got is like, well, Game of Thrones, and then you have latestly Our Flag Means Death, which is they've branded as like an HBO Max original. You know,
There are certain HBO Max originals.
yeah.
I think what
and
they were
Euphoria
Euphoria is huge, and then you also have The Sopranos, that kind of stuff.
and
They have good
like
stuff,
HBO Max
but
is-
HBO Max has been doing this since like the 70s.
and they've been putting tons and tons of money into it, and Netflix has only just recently been able to start really putting studio level money into their stuff.
Let's think about this. Netflix creating their own content. They've only been doing this for around a decade. Like House of Cards was coming out, 2010? And that was the first Netflix original thing.
Yeah. And it was
And then an Adam Sandler movie
was
was the
good.
first Netflix film, right?
what they need to do if they want to get over this or get through this valley is not try to crack down on people's sharing. They need to do something with ads, whether that be you get a discounted Netflix account or a free Netflix account or something with ads.
I don't think that's the way to go. They're growing.
What I'm saying is they need to do something to gain more money, to get more revenue that isn't encroaching on how people already like to watch Netflix.
Ads will do that.
But everybody already owns a Netflix account, right? But for those who don't, if you
Give them the option.
if you have the option for a free one, then the ads can contribute to monetary issue.
Well, when it comes to Netflix money, the amount of resources they have direct to consumer style without any kind of middleman or ad or money or anything like that, they've grown to be the biggest. They're still bigger than Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They're not content. Like Disney Plus is growing fast, but they're still the biggest. And so with their kind of money, you don't, like, people will watch Netflix and pay the, $10 a month, $12 a month, whatever they need to do to have that Netflix. They're not like limiting, because they have well over 100 million subscribers.
Well, they need to do something about the monetary thing.
Maybe.
And it's not
something.
and the answer isn't raising the price on the subscription. Because there's a certain status quo. People know that I pay this much, I get Netflix, and I enjoy Netflix, and I can share Netflix with my friends or my family. And people have these things that they know about this service that they like. And when you try to change those things, you're like, well, we're going to add ads, or we're going to raise the price on you. Yeah, people are going to drop out. They're going to get out of there quick. People are willing.
They have to do something, because there is streaming services like Peacock, like Tubi, that are allowing.
But
this.
if you be honest, if you look at it, it's still
those are
trash.
newer companies than even Netflix.
But people are willing to accept the movies or shows that aren't good in anticipation for the really good ones that come out, the surprise bangers like Arcane or like Stranger Things.
Which is exactly why we've been paying Netflix for years.
Why we keep it, and people are willing to keep the subscription for that, And so I think as far as their content goes, I think they need to hone in on certain things and stop making the trash movies.
They do need to stop spending money on trash, yeah.
Yeah. What was it that came out that we watched on Netflix? That was a good one. Was that did The Guilty come out on Netflix? Or was that HBO?
No.
The Guilty came out on HBO, didn't it?
Guilty? What was that?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, that was...
That was a Netflix film.
Netflix.
That was
Yeah,
Netflix. And that was good. And I
Very
thoroughly
simple.
enjoyed it. Yeah. If they make stuff like that, I can see them doing very well. But if they keep making stuff like, I don't know, what did they put out that was really bad movie? Full Metal Alchemist?
Well,
Well,
also,
see, the thing is, they're still using gas, so they need to switch over to all electric, and that's what's going to save their company.
check this out. Netflix is an American company, but they're international content.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix is spending tons of money on international content, other language content.
Well, I don't know if we're going to be the ones to solve their issue.
Well, the stuff that comes out of like some of the like European countries, or like some of the German shows that I've seen, really, really good. Like Dark, very good.
I never watched Dark because it looks super fascinating. I just, I hate subtitles.
Right. There's Katla is kind of a science fiction horror
there
movie.
Streaming services like
BritBox. I think that's a channel. It's not a service. And there's stuff that comes out of Korea.
Yeah.
There's some bangers coming out of Korea.
Well, Americans like Korean content.
No. There's some really good stuff.
I understand. Like, what's that latest
Korea
film? Everything, Always, All the Time, or something like that.
Something like that. The stuff Korea's movie making industry is growing by leaps and bounds in recent years, and they're coming out some really, really top tier content.
South Korea, of course.
South Korea, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
the better
Korea.
Netflix funding that kind of stuff is really good, and them funding animation stuff is really good. But if they're just gonna make like crappy movies that people are like, oh, this is a Netflix movie. You don't want people saying it's a Netflix movie, which implies that it's bad.
Or just middle of the ground, like you won't be happy or
mid-tier.
upset that you watched it.
That movie you're talking about, Everywhere All the Time or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that a Netflix film?
No, it's not. I'm just saying he was bringing up good stuff coming out of South Korea.
I really want to watch that.
That looks like a crazy multiverse film.
Yeah.
It looks very fascinating, but I got to get over something because we're just going to keep getting more subtitles, more cross-culture entertainment, and I have a serious holdup on this.
Yeah.
I mean, if they speak English and their mouths are dubbed according to English.
I don't speak Korean or German or Japanese, but I watch all of these movies.
Start studying Korean. That's gonna be your
you just have to.
No, you gotta
No.
America
first.
Learn how to read English subtitles.
I can do that.
Learn how to read
I can
English.
do it. I can
Learn
do
how to
it.
read English.
I can do it. It's just I think visually. So if I'm missing all the pictures because I'm trying to focus on the words, it's like I might as well read a book at this point.
Find a movie. Right.
We should sit down and watch Parasite.
Yeah, like we'll watch Parasite or something that's like that, or a martial arts movie, and just let the movie happen and read the subtitles and get a feel for it.
Maybe not.
I watched Princess Mononoke, right? Now, I've watched a lot of stuff besides that. This is an example. It is such a wacky film, but so good. I still don't. I read every subtitle. I'm still so incredibly lost.
I'm a big proponent of sub over dub, except when it comes to Princess Mononoke.
I was
dub
so
version is
lost.
so good. You got all the voice actors and everything are amazing. Big name voice actors.
I hear that.
Mark Hamill's in there.
Speaking Japanese?
Yeah. No. Speaking
Oh, the
English.
dub. Oh, gotcha.
The dub.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so wacky, and these purists wouldn't let us watch the dub because it was with a group.
Oh, you were with a group.
And it was just a horrible
purists
experience.
Didn't understand this movie.
I think when it comes to Netflix, I think they're going to keep growing. This is a blip on their radar. However, it is something to pay attention to, and personally, I think it has more to do with the content.
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag. I think it could go in Josh's direction if they don't act on good strategies.
Also, they need to find better. They've been so politically one-sided for so long. They have to start realizing that 50% of not just the American population, but the human population does not agree with their version of politics, both socially and
well, it's Hollywood politics.
It is, and it's dumb because it's literally just Hollywood that like across the board is expected to believe this way when there's so much more of the world, not just the country.
Right.
And they have to start saying, hey, a huge portion of our viewers aren't happy with these constant underlying narratives. Why don't we just start leaving them out of some of our films and shows?
Or do them better.
Yeah.
Or do them better, yeah. I mean, it's like something that's completely not political will become political so fast with their character choice, the aspects of the character. It's like, this is a sci-fi film and we have to know who this character sleeps with. You know what I mean? We don't need that.
Well, like the big meme is 3 seasons in, a character is all of a sudden gay.
Yeah.
It's like, number one,
we don't need to know that.
You're doing that to try and pander to a certain group, when why didn't you just make the character gay in the first place and have it established?
Yeah.
They
do that now a lot more.
You see a lot of shows do that, and it doesn't feel like this weird, thing.
It's ridiculous that these narratives have to be a part of every single piece of content. So I would say a big part of that also is just leave that stuff out. Like, it doesn't have to be one side, or if you want to just sit in the middle and be happy.
Yeah.
But you don't, like, you're making money. That's all that you need to sustain.
Apparently they're losing money is what they're doing.
Well, they've been making money. And they keep pushing these narratives. If they continue down this road, it's going to keep dividing, and you're going to probably keep losing more and more subscriberships. Like, if they don't make anything good, and the next, like, say the next season of Stranger Things and Ozark and all of these good shows that I'm enjoying are done with, and they're doing weird stuff, like everyone's not looking forward to Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Say that's crap, and then everything for the next 5 years is just complete crap. I'm going to cancel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to pay for something that's shoving a narrative in my face and is just dumb content.
Right.
I'm not going to hold on to it. But I'm giving them time because I believe in what they're doing. But they got to adjust.
You do?
I do. I believe in the streaming entrepreneurial quality of this company. They've built themselves into a giant, but at their core, they haven't been doing it super long. At their core, they are still like the wild card. The people that they're contending with is Disney, who's been in existence for like 70 years or something.
This will be, I think, a crucial moment. Are they going to be able to overcome this, or is it going to get worse from here?
I don't know. I think it's good. I think they'll be able to overcome it just fine.
I mean, I'd like them to. There's a lot of stuff I'm currently waiting on.
Yeah,
I'm waiting on a Scissor 7 movie.
What if we watch Arcane and it completely sucks?
Like, next season sucks.
Wouldn't that be such a bummer?
Oh, that'd be a downer.
It'd be a huge downer, man.
Oof.
I'm not investing in Arcane. I don't care.
All around Netflix, we hope that you are okay. Let me cut in really quick to just talk to you about our Patreon for just a moment. Our Patreon has all kinds of really cool content, both exclusive and early. This podcast you're watching or listening to at the very moment was actually available a week early over on our Patreon to watch or listen to. So if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can go to the link in the description, select the tier that best fits your content needs and enjoyment. Thank you so much for all of those who support us on Patreon already, and we look forward to seeing you on Patreon for all of the exclusive access and perks that it brings to you. Let's get back to the podcast. So before we do our Patreon shout out, I wanted to just really quickly just appreciate this beautiful man.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, he's entertained us for years. He's brought us a lot of wonderful pieces of with hair and without.
With hair.
A little bit with hair, a lot without.
hair.
In the pre-show, we were praising Looper.
Yeah.
And he was in Looper,
He was good in Looper.
He's been good in so much. And he's recently retired for mental disease where it affects his speech. And so he's just bowing out. you know, and saying I've had my fun in the sun,
Yep.
and I'm
Gonna retire.
and just thought we'd appreciate this beautiful man.
Yeah, he's had a good full career.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of sucks, you know, especially you see a lot of older actors who are still acting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Anthony Hopkins is still making movies.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
When's the last Anthony?
I don't know, but
It's been a while, but
he's old. Clint Eastwood somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Morgan Freeman. I've seen
Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
These are older actors, and it really is. It's tough to see them.
Did we get a Morgan
Bow
Freeman, Earth Day video? Like,
I don't know.
deep in the Sahara. Or give me a Morgan Freeman. Like,
I have a
what
feeling.
Anybody got a good Morgan Freeman?
No.
Here we go. Bruce Willis will be missed. This is the best I got.
That's okay.
He was a legend in cinema.
Cinema.
He was a legend in cinema. He's kind of does it like he has a little bit of a in his voice.
Yeah.
There's a flatness in there.
Flatness.
We enjoyed Die Hard, and we will continue enjoying Bruce Willis movies
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of our lives.
There you go.
Something like that.
That's a pretty good Bruce Willis. Oh, pretty good.
That's it.
My Bruce Willis kind of comes from my lower lip. You know, you're really just gonna tuck in that
lip talk. Yeah.
like close your eyes a lot and shake your head.
What's your favorite Bruce Willis film?
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. I think mine might be. I haven't seen all of them, so it could easily change. But I think mine might be Pulp Fiction.
I want to go through like a list of movies. I mean,
Just throw out one that you love.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Love watching him in Die Hard.
Mm-hmm. Die Hard's a good time.
You know, he's got hair. He's not like this super jacked guy. He's a normal looking dude.
Normal looking dude. What are you laughing at?
It's fun.
The sheer loyaltism of Wyatt and his Die Hard.
I think you'll find this is like
This is across the board.
This is
thing.
across. People love Die Hard.
No, I know there's a lot of people that Die Hard, but you're just like, out of all his movies, Die Hard.
There's a lot, but he did such a good job.
Yeah.
You know, he acting, especially with like Alan Rickman.
Yeah, but gosh dang it. And just the little one-liners, because his delivery, like, was the thing that sold all of these one-liners. That
come to LA, we'll have some drinks, we'll have a laugh. You know, he's in a vent, you know, bleeding.
Yeah,
Just good.
He's just a great actor, very multi-leveled.
Mm-hmm.
So he did hardcore stuff, and then he did emotional stuff, and.
I'd like to see a couple more of his more dramatic movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Sixth Sense is very dramatic.
Yeah.
It's all drama. So he will be missed, but we're thankful for what he gave us. Shout out to Shelby.
Shelby,
you're a patron supporter. Thank you so much. We love you.
We really appreciate all of our supporters on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
We've noticed that some people were watching the movie commentaries.
A little bit, yeah.
Who was watching? Anybody leave a comment?
No comments.
Nobody's
yet.
commenting.
I didn't check. To be
Come on,
honest.
patrons.
Comments?
No.
Oof. Well,
That's a.
Actually, I might have.
It's not a very pro move there.
We'll go back and look and see, but we really do appreciate all the Patreon supporters.
Yeah, and if you want to be a Patreon supporter, also go check out the link in the description and select the tier that best fits your WiseWorks content needs. Thank you so much, Shelby, for supporting us. The next thing we're going to get into is yet another man, but we probably have multiple opinions about this man.
Oh no.
And qualms, interests, and praises, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, we were. Oh,
Michael Bay.
Sheesh.
Why are we talking about Michael Bay?
Number one, has Ambulance come out yet?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay. So Ambulance is his most recent film.
Mm-hmm.
We did a movie trailer that everybody loved. And I haven't seen the movie. I want to watch the movie because it looks like it has some very cool visuals. But the man has a specific style.
It's might be the most specific style in Hollywood.
You can turn on a Michael Bay movie
Give me
without seeing it.
his style in 5 words or less. Describe his style in like
Moving fast, bright, shiny things.
Yeah, I'd say that probably covers it. A lot of shaky kind of
shaky color grade orange.
No, color grade's not orange. It's diverse, but it's like a very harsh color grade.
His color grade, it's almost very sharp.
Yeah, it's
not
sharp
super
and it's harsh.
vibrant, but it's very sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's the case for the oldest movie I think I'm probably thinking of his is probably The Island. And you guys haven't seen The Island, but it's very Michael Bay coloring, a lot of stuff.
Okay, so when it comes
I really
to
love the movie.
So, earlier in the 2000 teens, right? So like 2013 through 16, everything on YouTube in the filmmaking world was like, make your footage cinematic. Take this LUT and put it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're selling LUTs just to throw on footage. That is Michael Bay's philosophy of color grading. He films everything correct and then he puts a LUT on it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't color correct for beauty. He doesn't color grade for anything. He stylizes his footage. He doesn't grade it. You know what I mean? It looks very just LUT thrown on top.
There's a LUT packet out there called
Michael Bay. He probably made it himself.
And put it out for free.
For free. He's like, hey everybody, you want to look like me?
Yeah.
I gotta look this up right now.
I guess let's talk a little bit about some of his work.
Okay.
I think a big one that everybody's probably seen is Transformers.
Of course.
The first Transformers, I think we're going to focus on solely. It's very Michael Bay. The way the writing is, the way the cinematography is, the way, the humor doesn't land in places, the way,
There's no flow to the edit. It's just as quick as moving as possible.
You can almost... When you think of Transformers, you can almost, those shots where it's like a person walking into frame, but the camera's down here, and so they got sunglasses on, and you can almost hear that as they walk in. It's like this, you can almost hear the sounds of somebody walking in on frame. It's a very cool angle of they walk in. There's a lens flare.
Okay, let me ask you this. So, for you personally, Wyatt, and then Joshua, also you. Do you like Michael Bay? Do you like what he has to offer and you appreciate it?
I don't hate Michael Bay. I think he's gone a little bit overboard with the Transformers movies. He should have stopped.
He produced a couple. I don't think he directed all of them.
I like at least the first 3. I think he should have stopped. But I mean, there's a bunch of pieces that he's done that I really love.
Okay.
I just have certain issues, with the lens flare, with that sort of weird camera angle.
Kind of stylized film.
Yeah,
you talked about you don't, before the podcast, you don't care for super stylized films.
No. Hyper stylized.
Hyper stylized.
This is stylized, but it's not necessarily, hyper stylized.
I don't know.
You don't get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what the color grade. I don't.
What do you think about Michael Bay's films? Wyatt doesn't care for super stylized stuff. What do you think?
I don't care for the color grade.
It's not just color grade. It's shot composition choice. It's editing speed. It's music. It does feel everything.
Like early, 2011, or a little bit earlier, 2009, Transformers. That's what I think of when I think of Michael Bay.
Well, with Ambulance, it's coming out. It feels with the exception of a few new things that we're seeing with drone work, and there's some YouTube videos out there you can find where he goes into a lot more drone heavy interest for Ambulance specifically.
Yeah.
All the YouTube videos where there's drones just shooting around everywhere, really quick moving, going into flying through small spaces. He does a lot of that work for Ambulance. Outside of that, the aesthetic of Ambulance is Jason Bourne.
No, the aesthetic of Ambulance is Michael Bay.
Yeah,
if you watch, you watch any Michael Bay movie where there is action taking place in a cityscape, which is all Michael Bay movies. There's going to be action taking place in a cityscape.
Well, okay, so settings Michael Bay.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like camera work.
Looks like Michael Bay.
It also looks like Jason Bourne.
No.
Yes, it does. It's never ending. It's that nonstop.
Yeah, well, he does that a lot.
I wouldn't say
though.
Jason Bourne for.
That's what Jason Bourne is.
He does a lot of really close up stuff, and which was a problem with Transformers is people didn't like how when we watched the Transform, it just felt like this mashing of robots, especially from human height. Like looking up at them and not knowing what's going on. It's a lot of what people had issues with the first few Godzilla movies.
Do you have the list of his movies?
I can pull it up. Well, when we pull this up, you're just going to see a lot of it is stuff we haven't seen. So there's a ton of stuff that we haven't seen. So
he's produced quite a lot.
A lot more than, I think he's probably, I don't know if he's produced more than he's directed. How many credits?
I think he's definitely.
So he's got 57 producer credits and 59 directing credits.
Yeah, but half of those 59 are music videos.
yeah, that's true.
Which, you know what? I feel like his style, the way it looks with that LUT and with the lens flare, works great for music videos.
Early 2000s music videos, like punk rock music videos.
Yeah, I think it works really good.
Look at his director timeline.
Yeah. Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
he was very busy in the 90s.
In the 90s.
Wildly busy.
All the music videos.
Yeah, that's true. There's a
Go
lot
back
of...
up to where the movies start.
Okay, so TV shorts, music video, music video.
Okay, so Bad Boys. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Bad Boys it's like down there above the Meatloaf music video.
Right here, okay. 1995, the year I was born.
Bad Boys, and then The Rock. Those are some pretty strong movies to get you started. The Rock's a really good. He had friggin' Nick Cage and Sean Connery in that one. These are and Will Smith in Bad Boys. These are some strong movies to start your directing work off of.
And then, but as far, like he spaces it out a good bit. So what do you have? You have 2001, 2003, 2005, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, 19, 20, 22.
Yeah.
All right. So they're pretty well spaced. It looks like he spends about 2 years.
2 years, 3
to
years.
start and complete a film, roughly. And it looks like for Ambulance, there was obviously during COVID time about I guess 3 years. Yeah. 2019.
Well, because of COVID. Too.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah, that's what I said. Is that what I said?
Oh,
I wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
But I don't. As far as his work goes, I appreciate that he does so much and that he does try to bring us cool action. I think at its core, when it comes to explosions, when it comes to, I don't know, just cool stuff you can see on film. He's a entertainer.
He is, but one of the other issues I have is a lot of his dialogue.
Yeah.
What do you think Michael Bay's, what's his strong suit?
Definitely action.
No, like what is he directing music videos, being a producer, directing movies? Like, what do you think's his strongest thing that he does?
Probably his producing. He's been involved in a lot of projects with producing. That's probably a strong suit. But you know, it's not dialogue. That's 100% for sure.
I don't think he's directed anything that's like written well.
No.
Which is, I mean, it's not like a huge.
The next slide. I don't like this slide. It
makes you uncomfortable.
There it is.
So I remember I was watching this interview where he was talking. I think you saw the same video. This YouTuber, right? And he was talking about Like, he started talking about how this YouTuber, when he was a kid, he would watch a Michael Bay film and he would try to do cool explosions in his short films like him.
Yeah.
And he was asking him, like, what did he use? Like, do you have any videos? He brought him like a video. He's like, oh, that's pretty well done. And Michael Bay's like, I burned down 2 houses when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
You know?
What's the movie that Michael Scott makes on The Office? His
Midnight. No,
his detective.
Yeah, it's Threat Level Midnight.
Threat Level Midnight.
Yeah. That feels like a Michael.
It feels
Bay
like a Michael Bay movie, and it feels like a lot of the, early 2000s, 2010s movies were very Michael Bay. A lot of
yeah, everyone was trying to.
Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Hit my toe on the edge of the table.
Amazing.
Oh gosh! Don't yell in the microphone with your squeaky, hurt voice. The table.
You know when you stub the edge of your pinky toe and it's like the worst thing in the world.
You guys remember that space of time? It was probably around Transformers 3.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers 2, Transformers 3, where everything was Michael Bay looking. Explosions and action movies it felt like they were all the same movie.
Do you have another movie as an example that wasn't Michael Bay? Because when my mind thinks about it is like
Down.
Dark Knight came out around the same time.
Anything like
White House.
anything
Down.
like with the Die Hard Bruce Willis sequels.
Yeah.
Or Red or something. They all felt like these action heavy.
Red was cool.
Red was cool. And
Salt came out around the same time.
yeah,
as well.
a lot of these explosion-y, action-heavy movies that it felt kind of like that was like.
Oh,
that's what
Source Code.
Yeah,
With Jake Gyllenhaal, same vibe. Yeah.
It's like what he was born to do was make things blow up on screen. I don't know.
You have a qualm with an aspect of his explosions. And some
I don't
people
think they're
online
realistic.
have hated you for this.
I don't think they're realistic.
You're talking about the sparks
the sparks.
that shoot out the side.
Where are
every
the
time.
sparks coming from?
They look like fireworks.
Why is it always the same? It's this line of sparks. Why does every explosion have that?
Maybe it's a signature.
Maybe.
I mean, it looks cool.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
In Transformers, you could say that spark
sparks
could be like coming off of
you
the
can
Transformer
absolutely
himself.
argue that for Transformers, right? Their
But
guns,
not for-
those are not human weapons.
And their body's not made of humans. If
no.
they hit something, it could spark their
100%.
metal.
It would
their
work
bodies.
for 13 hours.
Yeah,
And not for ambulance either.
It works for Transformers because you can suspend your disbelief because these are creatures from another world.
Mhm.
For ambulance, we see a car crash.
They're ambulance cars.
Okay, hear
Cop
me
cars.
Mm.
All of Michael Bay's movies are set in parallel universes, and
This
the
is
spark
theory?
is the connection coming from another universe.
Okay,
just a different timeline
all
coming
right,
into that universe.
So all right, so the theory has been broached before that I've heard. That
Wait, is this really a theory? I just
Yeah.
made this up on the spot.
no movie actually takes place technically in our world. It's it's almost always like an alternate world because the movie asks you to suspend your disbelief.
yes,
Right.
the nature of storytelling.
In Michael Bay's version of Earth,
Yeah.
these sparks happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that world, they are very realistic. Everything that happens is very realistic. I can get behind that. I understand that.
I love that theory. Not just about Michael Bay's sparks, but about just defining.
Yeah.
This is never
This is
our
not-
universe.
It's like the Marvel movies. Like, this isn't our universe. You kind of have to suspend your disbelief for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched Beautiful Boy with Timothy Chalamet. That feels like it could be an Earth story.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies that feel like they take place in our universe.
But they're never. They
If
never do.
somebody says that, a blade could pop out of your arm from a little device, they're asked, this isn't our world.
But it is the Marvel world.
It's the Marvel world.
And it's the same universe
Let's move on.
Michael Bay, as a director, producer, how do you rank your entertainment of him?
I really love The Island, and I
Yeah,
think
it
you guys
depends.
need to watch.
I'll watch The Island
We're
with this
talking
kind of
about-
recommendation.
Some stuff can be really good, and then some
and The
stuff
Rock,
is like
and I like the first Transformers.
This is what I think. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows his dialogue sucks. I think he knows that his writing is never complex. So he's like, I'm compensating for
By
that
explosions.
by doing stuff that other directors won't.
Yeah, well,
And so
he's-
I'm going to fly drones under cars that are midair,
that's fun.
you know?
But like even he said he had a director, like a well-known director like Spielberg or somebody, tell him, you need to stop making Transformers movies. And he's like, and I just kept doing it. And he's like, I should have stopped.
Should have stopped.
But
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be really honest with you all. Finding music online that doesn't get copyright strucken or blocked or anything that really even just works that sounds good in videos is hard to find online. I mean, it just is. It's difficult to get music that's going to fit the emotion, the genre that you're looking for. Well, guess what? There's a lot of different platforms out there, but in my opinion, the subscription service to Soundstripe has saved my life, saved my butt so many times when it comes to any kind of video production, whether freelance, for short films, or just online content like on YouTube. So I want to just encourage you, if this is something that you need, if this is something that you believe will help you out with any kind of production needs, then go check out Soundstripe. Use the link in the description. It's a special link that lets us know that you used our link, and use the code wiseworks10 at checkout. That will give you 10% off your first purchase. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. And once again, if you are in production and you need copyright-free music, go check out Soundstripe, use the link in the description, and use wiseworks10 promo code at checkout. Let's get back to the podcast. I said this off the podcast. I'll just let everyone else hear it. I think I stand by this in a serious idea. He is like the biggest bro in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's like explosions, like you said,
I think it'll be
bouncing
really,
boobs.
really fun to surf with him.
Yeah, he's probably a surfer. I could see it.
I think the movie industry would be less interesting
Without him?
Less
without
interesting.
Michael Bay.
We don't get the most awesome stuff from him, but we do get...
We get the most
We get the
awesome
most
stuff. We don't maybe get the most like,
well-crafted story.
well-crafted, like beautiful art pieces, but we get like the
We're
sickest
probably
stuff,
gonna
dude.
anger people with
Ah.
this.
There are hardcore Michael Bay fans. They don't like the same stuff we like. We don't like the same stuff they like.
We're not disrespecting them or Michael Bay.
Also,
actually.
yeah, we are disrespecting. But let's just say this.
Hmm.
If you think Michael Bay's writing and storytelling is complex and like incredible, then you're just wrong.
There are I can
I think you're part of a fraternity if
right.
if you're
I'm not saying
you
Yeah.
like
It
his
might
stuff.
appeal to you.
I'm not dogging on your like what you like. If you like Michael Bay, if Michael Bay is the pinnacle of
Filmmaking, and
filmmaking,
storytelling.
we have to, but
But I feel like
you gotta be able, you gotta know how to appreciate somebody, but also see like the positives and negatives.
Yeah, but you also believe if a film is bad, call it a bad film.
I think if a film is bad, the people who watch it will recognize that it's a bad film.
But you also don't like people who calling an obviously bad story good. Like just for the sake of jumping on
For
board.
the sake of jumping on a bandwagon, no. But I also believe that you can enjoy a movie that's not a good movie. I do it all the time.
Of course.
I think Blade is a terrible movie.
Oh,
And
well,
I
all the time.
love Blade.
we had to watch what it was, The Seventh Son, because you said that looks like a terrible movie. We have to watch it.
Yeah.
All right, rank him while he's looking into our eyes.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
him as a whole.
I'm gonna give Michael
His his
work.
pretty high
his
up.
no
His
his
work.
films
It's not.
like try to bring it into the center and say overall
5
personally I enjoy Michael Bay this much.
5.8,
I'm gonna
almost a 6.
I'm gonna give him a 6 because I have seen The Island and The Rock.
I'm giving him a 5, and it might go up if I see The Island.
I think if you check out The Island and The Rock, they're both enjoyable movies.
All right, Michael, I appreciate who you are as a director, as a creative, and there's some sparks off to the side if you see those.
Beautiful.
Michael Bay is the best of us.
He's the best of
He's
us.
the best of us. All right. Let's go ahead and move to our next area of talking, which is Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm going to say this. Much more excited than I was for Ragnarok.
I'm very excited for this movie.
Yeah. It looks great.
I think that we needed Ragnarok to get this movie. I think we needed all the wackiness of Ragnarok, though I don't think there's a ton of substance with a lot of things in Ragnarok. I think there is substance in Ragnarok that you can glean and is really good for him and for Loki's story.
Yeah.
But I think we needed the wackiness of Ragnarok to get this movie.
Perhaps. I think what Taika Waititi is doing with this is actually going a little deeper into who Thor is and who Thor needs to be than what we saw in Ragnarok and what we saw in any other Marvel film for Thor, you know?
Yeah.
And the funness of it. You really like Guardians of the Galaxies. They're bringing that vibe into Thor.
Well, it's because the Thor comics were very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, of this, Thor, galaxy explorer almost, wacky, crazy adventures with Thor.
Yeah. What do you think about him kind of trying to find this inner strength that's no longer a warrior vibe that we clearly got from the teaser? Do you think it's going to be Circle where he realizes there's a balance that needs to be happening there? Where it's we open up with him being an agent of peace, and then he realizes he has to find a balance between peace and warrior later in the film?
I mean, we kind of have to think about it, I think, from growing up his whole life. I mean, how long was he raised to become King of Odin? King
of Odin, yeah.
King of Odin, King of Asgard, and then now he's not doing that. He's passed the torch, so he's not doing that anymore.
I mean, his progression is he has to become worthy, and then he, in the second movie, there's not really a big revelation for Thor, except that it's just kind of adventure movie almost. They don't really establish too much about his character.
The relationship between him and Loki.
Yeah. But Ragnarok is very much he has to become he has to sort of discover who he is without the hammer, without his father, without his mother, without his people.
Yeah. Basically strip away his identity, and then see who he is.
Then he has to kind of become the warrior again in the Avengers movies, and then he's at the end. He's now what do I become? Who am I now? He gives up that sort of title.
Yeah, and to see that emotional turmoil he had. I know we saw him overcome that to help destroy Thanos in the end game.
Yeah.
However, what we saw at the beginning of Endgame, where the depression he goes into after he beheads him and realizes that he wasn't actually able to stop him from what he did, that was actually a crazy emotional twist for his character.
Well, in Endgame, I think the big thing for him was he had to accept that even at his lowest point, and even though everybody's gone, and even though you're sad, you're still worthy. That was the lesson for him in that one. When he pulls the hammer, when he talks to his mother, and I think in this one, it's got to be, I know who I am, sort of. What do I do?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of a space exploration thing with Guardians.
I mean, it definitely still
Guardians at the
feels like
beginning.
a little bit of an identity crisis. He's still working through a lot. I mean, he's a complex character. This is I think this labels Thor as the most film.
Yeah.
He has the most movies out of any other character.
Well, this
is Thor 4, right?
Yeah. A lot of our
Iron Man
had 3.
Iron Man had 3.
And Thor also shows up in all the Avengers as well,
Iron
same
Man
as
had
Iron
3,
Man.
Captain America had 3.
Yeah, this is Thor 4. This is the most out of any other character.
but the Avengers movies were big character development things for Captain America and Iron Man, not Thor quite as much.
Yeah.
You think this is going to be the last Thor? Last we'll see of
Probably.
Chris Hemsworth.
I don't know. I don't know.
This is a good indicator of that.
I don't think that she's going to become Thor.
Oh no, I don't think she's. They're definitely setting her up for who she is as a character.
Maybe she might do some.
And they're
some
probably
Thor
gonna.
stuff.
He's gonna give that axe a Stormbringer to Beta Ray Bill at some point.
Stormbreaker. Yeah,
Stormbreaker.
I could see that.
Definitely, probably in this film.
I want to see Beta Ray Bill. Like, this is exciting.
But we saw
Everything
this
I've seen is exciting. I want to see Beta Ray Bill so
Don't they
bad.
have an actor for Beta Ray Bill?
I don't
Didn't
think
we
so.
discuss this already?
No, they don't have an actor labeled for Beta Ray Bill.
I'm gonna pull up IMDb.
All right. Got to get out of Michael Bay. Keep talking.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Keep talking, Joshua.
Oh, we saw somebody. I'm pretty sure we looked up the cast list already for this. Thor: Love and Thunder. Here we go.
I mean, if it's supposed to be a surprise, we've got
Goes on cast and crew.
Got a little low.
Sif, Nebula, Star-Lord.
Yeah, we just got the Guardians list
Okay.
and the Thor list, which once again, let me just point out, real excited about Christian Bale being in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Christian Bale as an actor.
I hope that Gore the God Butcher is a legit bad guy and not like a, we see
Just
that
a one-off.
Well, we see that Zeus is kind of he seems kind of fun,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
right? As a fun character. I don't want Gore to be that character.
Yeah, there's no Beta Ray Bill on
Nobody
this
for
list.
Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
I think he's showing up.
if he's showing up, it might be at the end.
I think
Might be after credits.
so. We're talking about Thor. I think we've got a couple things before Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Doctor Strange next. Then Ms. Marvel. I don't think that's going to have anything to do with it, but I think Doctor Strange is going to.
we also have
give
Guardians Volume 3.
Yeah, but that's going to be after Thor.
Yeah.
It's going to. Doctor Strange is going to set up for this next movie. I'm pretty sure it's going to have at least end credit scene.
Something.
Throw us something.
Yeah.
For
Mhm.
Thor.
So, you know how I feel about Marvel.
Mm.
I got plenty of qualms. Really detached. Thor has always been my favorite Avenger.
Yeah.
I love his meatheadedness.
I do too. I really like that. love Thor.
Thor has always been my favorite
Mm-hmm.
across the board, and I've always enjoyed the Thor films, even the second that people didn't like. And I just thought Thor is a fun Avenger, a fun superhero god character, and he's brothers to Loki, so there's that whole fun dynamic in the mix. And then I watched Ragnarok, didn't really care for it that much,
Mhm.
just because there wasn't a lot of substance there. And then this has got me real excited.
Mm-hmm.
Love and
Especially-
Thunder.
Definitely has like a.
I love the tone they're bringing to it.
I already talked about this, but like an 80s
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
To this film.
Especially coming off the heels of the Avengers movies where we had a lot of emotional stuff from him.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do now? Like
Lose his
it's
fat, for
he
one.
seems like he has a bunch of different outfits.
Yeah.
We saw him in several different outfits. The fur cape, this almost Star-Lord looking thing, like this is what he wears when he's hanging around the Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's got ball cap on where he's working out. I think he's wearing that shirt.
when he's using Stormbreaker, as it looks almost like as a
Something to light up a city or whatever.
No. The same. Stormbreaker can create rainbow bridges.
Oh,
Bridges
really?
to teleport through space.
The Bifrost?
Yeah, it can create Bifrost
Oh,
channels.
sick.
And he looks like he's creating a Bifrost channel, but he's wearing an outfit that is the same colors and scheme as Captain Marvel's.
Mm.
Right? So it looks like he's
So he becomes the rainbow.
I don't know.
The rainbow superhero.
I don't and then but we see him using his hammer but we also see him planting his hammer almost like a gravestone or a
Yeah,
tree.
he was
we did see that,
he was
yeah.
planting the axe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's-
and did you notice in this Why is Mjolnir all cracked?
Well, no, because Helen destroyed it.
Hela broke it, remember?
Oh,
The
yes.
Ragnarok.
So either
I remember.
I don't know what's going on. Is this a reconstructed Mjolnir that she's using, or
I think she's so worthy it placed itself back
So
together.
also, this is something that we could talk about. You don't think this is go back? This is not Jane Foster
I don't
from
think this is our Jane
the
Foster.
timeline that we've seen.
No,
And
definitely
if
not.
it is, they have to explain it as like she got caught up into some sort of portal or something, and she has been living like 1,000 years or something on the other side of the universe, just not aging, and became a Thor character.
I think I don't think she is, but I think the Mjolnir is because it is cracked.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Jonathan.
I think I think she's definitely in the same way that what's Star-Lord's girlfriend, Zoe Saldana's character,
Gamora.
in the same way that Gamora is another version of that he has to learn to love. It's gonna be
Similar with her.
you know, where they might not ever have the love story like he had with Jane Foster. However, there's gonna be that tension. There's gonna be like, oh, we like another version of you. We had a life together.
I think, you know, this could technically be she is Thor. She's Thor.
She could be Thor
in her universe.
and Jane Foster.
But she's a Thor that looks like Jane Foster.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, we gotta figure out, are these
that
real
right?
muscles?
She said she was working out pretty heavily.
Hold on. Let me Google
Oh,
a picture
yeah.
of Natalie Portman, see if she got jacked for this role.
Right there.
Natalie.
Portman, Thor
Right there.
role. Portman becoming Thor. Images. Anything that shows her strong. That doesn't look super strong to me.
No, that's an old photo.
Yeah, that's an old photo.
That's old. Hold up. Go back. Actually, no, that's not old.
What's not
That's
old?
new. Go.
Let me see.
Yeah, right there. Right here. On set. Right here.
Yeah.
Right here?
Click on that right there.
Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. Let me go back.
That
Which
was
one?
A toy.
What are you saying on set?
Set
Up.
this.
Right here?
Scroll up.
Scroll up. And look, just
Scroll
pause it.
up.
Yeah, Thunder. Set.
On set. Click right there.
Thunder set. Okay.
This is what you're looking for. Yeah, this photo.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
She does look thick.
Her arms look pretty beefy in that picture.
Yeah, she looking strong. Hold on. Is this a little closer? Let me,
I mean, she's not
do
jacked.
we have anything larger?
No, this is but her arms look bigger. They look beefier. That's
Is this a
good.
better picture? Yeah, she looks like, look at her shoulders. She looks like she's gained strength.
She's just standing here like.
Is this the same?
Look at her.
Did she work out with the same
That's- we've
person
never-
that Robert
imagine-
Pattinson
She
did
just
in
walks around.
for Batman?
She's like, I've never been this strong. Look, but
She's got the
imagine
same
her
trainer as
compared
Robert
to,
Pattinson
maybe
for Batman.
She
the
could
same
take
training.
him. She could take him.
But no, look, the comparing her to like Black Swan, tiny.
She's tiny, yeah.
And now look, she's
Look
looking
at
all
big
healthy.
arms. Yeah.
That's
Very
c-
cool.
She looks better this way. I kind of like this.
Big arms.
I kind of like this stronger Natalie Portman look. I mean, look at this picture. She's like a a Chad looking there. She kind of looks
She
like a
walks
Chad.
around set.
Heck yeah, I like this.
Tell people to move out of the way. Jade. She walks around. She puts on like the Thor voice. Get out of my way. Thor.
Let me see. I'm
Thor.
gonna put this
the
one up on
god
the full
of
screen so
thunder.
people can see it a little better. Let me save this image. So overall, how excited are you guys for this Thor compared to
Pretty mega
previous Thors?
excited.
Mega excited.
I've always been really excited for the standalone movies.
Let's take a look at this picture. Hold on, blown up. Yeah, and then I put another one in here from Black Swan. Compare them. Look at how much different that is.
Go back.
She's tiny there.
Ballerina girls versus bruh girls.
versus bruh.
Girls who call you bruh.
But she's so jacked. We have
like
never
she's
seen a
even playing Aurora,
transformation this dramatic for women actors. They're always like, I think this is great. This is a beautiful thing in my mind. Because women they can start to be like, well, we have these roles that we actually have to become strong and healthy for. And it's not just constantly pushing this like super thin anorexic Hollywood girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we did get that one. I can't pull that meme.
Girls who say hi. Girls who say sup.
That's a sup girl for sure. But yeah, I think that's her actual arm. I don't think that's like added.
You never know.
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
Hold on. Compare it to. I think if she lifts it up and she's holding something heavy,
if she's doing this thing right here,
that could definitely be that arm, because that's just a relaxed arm.
That's a relaxed arm. It's not a holding
a tense arm.
It's not holding like the head of your enemy.
That's a tense arm.
Yeah,
and that's a Stardust shoulder that you're talking. Stardust
shoulder.
Shoulder. She got some. She got rounded
Death Star
shoulder. She also kind of, I mean, I know this is a classic look, but it does kind of look like elf ears, doesn't it?
I love it.
I know it's supposed to be wings, I think.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. I really appreciate the fact that she's gotten herself strong for this role. Yeah, she definitely looked like a bro.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's all I've got.
We got one more thing.
We do have one more thing.
As weekly, we got a terrible tier. Wyatt, any introduction?
I don't think this is the worst movie, but it wasn't. It was, in my opinion, my least favorite Marvel movie that came out. Or no, my second. Black Widow, I think, was my least favorite that came out. And then this
two
one.
Black Widow. I mean, two Marvel movies.
We got to represent everybody here.
Represent.
And then I guess Eternals.
Okay.
But I enjoyed this less than Eternals.
Okay.
Personally. Yeah. Shang-Chi.
A lot of people like this film.
A lot of people did like, and I'm not saying that you can't like it. I liked a lot of aspects.
It had that good kung fu.
It had really good kung fu,
and it was fun for that element, but only for that element.
And I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of the special effects. A lot of the special effects were
really
good. There was a lot of good ones.
The basic ones, like the wind dancing.
And
whatever they utilize the wind and everything.
Hand?
Oh gosh. Razor Fist.
He's pretty good.
But like everything that
the
happens
rings
on
all
the
look
bus,
cool.
The bus scene is amazing. The CG for the bus is amazing. The CG for the dragon and the water is
really cool.
I mean, the water by itself, every water effect in this movie. Top-notch CG for that stuff.
Yeah. What's terrible about it? Because you've quantified this for a terrible tier.
The characters didn't feel like they had enough depth. I mean, I appreciate that his, Awkwafina, who's kind of like his sidekick, she didn't really feel like a sidekick. It felt like two protagonists in the movie.
It was weird. It was like, who is this character?
I didn't mind.
What?
I didn't mind the way that they approached that, but it didn't feel super necessary.
Okay.
And his sister didn't have any depth.
Nothing.
His father, it felt like his dad should have had the most depth.
And nothing.
Should have had the most emotional points in the movie. And his relationship with his dad really should have had some really solid stuff. But it didn't feel like it had any of that.
Lacking across the board.
It felt lacking.
Now let me ask you this. It does seem like Doctor Strange is bringing a lot of Shang-Chi into that film.
I'm cool with it.
Cool?
I'm down with it. I want to see him more.
Okay.
I like this character. But I think it'll be better in Doctor Strange, hopefully.
I mean, the first Doctor Strange, as far as writing goes, was extremely hammy.
Yeah, it was hammy. Not much substance.
So why do we expect so much from this Doctor Strange when the first one was kind of...
Because it's on the backs of No Way Home.
That's true.
And it's like Sam Raimi's doing it.
Okay.
So we expect a little bit more. And I expected a little bit more from this.
And it didn't deliver. They put a lot of time in the art area of this film.
And the art is beautiful, honestly. It's a very pretty movie.
I know it was really hard to do and complex. I didn't care for the bamboo road, like the forest with the bamboo. That was obvious animation. It didn't. I think when you're doing something that gritty, like trying to fight your way through a forest that's trying to swallow you, like freaking don't make it look so animated. Like change the style of the filming, not these big long sweeping shots where everything has to be animated because it's too much. Like make it feel suffocating and gritty and practical. But they didn't do that. They made it.
Yeah, it felt kind of surface level.
Surface level. So probably won't win terrible tier that we're doing in 2 weeks. We're ranking all of our terrible tiers in 2 weeks.
It's not going to be the worst one on the list. I think there's some better contenders.
We got some heavy hitting terribles on this list
for the final season.
For the end of the season.
Final season.
It was the one.
Not for the final.
It was
season.
the one that I found that I thought
season finale.
Yeah, this one can go up there.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget we have a midnight special on Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Is this that week? Oh, can we give a quick tease?
Oh yeah, tease it up. Tease it up.
Joseph was in California.
I wasn't here when that was recorded.
We got a guest.
Who is it?
They'll have to find out.
What?
No, tell them that they'll come more. They'll come if they know.
It was
Mackenzie.
It was my wife.
It was Joe's wife.
It was Wyatt and Joshua, these two clowns, hanging out with Kenzie. And I haven't listened to it yet. I don't know what it's going to be. And
I want to know what
hear.
Kenzie said to you after she left when you asked her about how the podcast went.
She said, it went good, I think. Talked about you a lot. That's all she said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you guys talking about me when I'm not here?
Because obviously Kenzie is sitting in your spot.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, let's get some Joe stories. He's not here. Let's talk about him.
Well, I'm going to listen to it this afternoon maybe once I get some stuff edited and we'll see what I think. But either way, I'm sure it's a wonderful podcast and it's coming out Friday night. So stay tuned, listen on Spotify or any other audio
all the other ones
podcast platform, not YouTube. But thanks so much for watching. There was another thing from California I wanted to tell you guys.
Can you tell us on video?
I can tell you. I mean,
well, we're fading out.
we're
We're done.